Some shows talk about one team. Other shows barely talk sports. This show will talk Packers, Brewers, and Bucks every day. Every day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily with Steve Sparky Fifer. Served up by Wendy's on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan. Download the Wendy's app today.
All right, so let's get to it. Talking about the Green Bay Packers, we always do our green and gold update each and every day. Before we get to the green and gold update, brought to you by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, Charlie Houston, I'd like to, if you can get it ready, we didn't talk in the break. Hey, I was trying to use the restroom, man. The guy restroom, there's a damn line. I couldn't even use a restroom in the break. I didn't have enough time. So I'm going to try it again next break. But for that being said, earlier today on the Mason Crosby Show, we surprised Mason Crosby, right? We surprised Mason. And Mason didn't know what was going on. Tommy Wirtz didn't know what was going on. Thunder was out here at the fair sitting in his car because it was at like 10 after 10. Sitting in his car because I warned him. I'm like, dude, you got to hear this. And our production imaging guy put together this piece of audio, and I heard it. I was like, wait, what are you playing? Because I could hear it in the hallway. So I went in the studio, and he's laughing, and he plays this thing for me. I was like, oh, yeah, we're putting that on the air now. I want to go play this. Andrew Wagner was on hold for his segment. If y'all missed it, I'm telling you, we're going to play the piece of audio. But if you missed that segment, go back and listen to it. Because not only is the audio amazing, Drew Wagner's reaction to the audio, who they went to right away after that, and everything that ensued after that, this piece of audio played, will have you laughing for a good 5 or 10 minutes. So go check that out. Again, thefanmilwaukee.com, on your Odyssey app, iHeart app, TuneIn app, whatever. Check it out. Here's the piece of audio we surprised Mason Crosby with earlier today on his show from 9 to 11.
Welcome to the Fan, kicking with the best. It's Mason Crosby time. He lines up under the Friday night lights. Number 27 always stays inside. 39 yards, the clock's ticking low. Mason Crosby's ready for one more show.
Ain't this catchy, right?
It's kind of groovy. I'm
Charlie's dancing on YouTube if you're on
Feel
YouTube.
the hammer and nail when the ball's in the air. You know he won't fail. Mason Crosby, legend in cleats. At the Fan, we celebrate every single feat. Announcer with 10 seconds left. It's 48 yards for the win. Crosby sweeps it through. The crowd's gone wild. From Green Bay's ice to the desert heat, he split the uprights in every seat. Kickoff specialist, a hero on air, with Mitch Thunder Nellis right beside him there.
Mitch got a fun shout out. I like it.
The hammer and nail when the ball's in the air. You know he won't fail. Mason Crosby, legend in cleats. At the Fan, we celebrate and stand every single feet. On the Fan, we salute the man with the boot. Mason Crosby still giving us that country truth.
Come on now.
Wow.
Right? Come on now. Isn't that amazing? I mean, seriously. Mason Crosby was dying. Like, it was playing and he was losing his mind when this whole thing was playing. And then when Thunder got the shot out, then everybody went crazy when they heard Thunder get the shot out. That was the Mason Crosby song, Mason Crosby song here on the Fan. So isn't that awesome?
It was something. I think Tommy Wirtz put it correctly when he said that is the ultimate amount of glazing possible that you could ever
It was so
have.
good.
That is.
It was so good. And Mason's like, hey, man, is this my new show theme song? We use this as my theme song, whatever. So I emailed to Mason, and I would bet, because he's in Green Bay today, tomorrow, and over the weekend with all his guys, how many times do you think Crosby plays that song for other guys out and about in Green Bay this weekend? Or do you think he's like, nah, I ain't playing this for nobody. I was going to keep this on my phone. I'm not going to play it for anybody. I bet you he plays it for at least a couple dudes.
I don't know if you know this, Sparky, but in the world of football, now, he is an NFL player. I think that helps him out a little bit. But the kicker is not always the most respected position in the world of football. I think some people like to mess around with their kickers on their teams and stuff like that. So I don't know if this is really something you want to show to your buddies. Maybe to the fans.
Yes.
Your fans, I think they love it. But your buddies are going to make fun of you for that.
My response to that would be, play me a song that got made about you, dude. You got nothing made about you.
I don't know if I want a song made
you
about
don't
me.
even got a radio show, man. I'm Mason Crosby. I got a show you don't. I mean, so again, I think it's awesome. I think it was hilarious, funny, and it was all AI generated. That's the best part. Like, that actually isn't a real singer. That was all AI generated, the whole song, the whole deal. And I don't know. I thought it was hilarious and loved it a lot. Again, go back, listen to that segment. It was the first segment of the 10 o'clock hour earlier today. Or go back and watch it. You can watch it right here on YouTube as well if you'd like. Search The Fan Milwaukee. And I'm telling you, Drew Wagner, when he came on from Forbes Sports, Brewers writer who joins them every Friday morning or Thursday morning, his reaction to all of this was classic Drew Wagner.
So we're making one for Drew? We're making one for Drew now? Right?
Oh.
I think we have to.
We should make one for Drew Wagner.
He'd love it, I think.
Oh, man.
Make it sound like folky and stuff, too.
Yes. Oh, Charlie's brilliant. Tommy Words, I guarantee you if he's listening, he's like, oh, yeah. Let's make one for Drew Wagner. I think we might have to. I think we might have to make one for Drew Wagner. Yeah, I think we might. Absolutely right. All right, let's get to our Green and Gold update.
It's time for your Green and Gold update on Wisconsin Sports Daily, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan with Steve Sparky Fifer.
All right, let's get to Green and Gold update. And today at 4 o'clock, we are going to do our training camp recap. Normally we do this at 2:20 every day. Today we didn't do it because we got into such Brewer-heavy conversation there in the first hour that we never got to it in the first hour of the show. So we definitely have to get to it for sure. I got text messages turned in. Drew Wagner is listening. I just tuned in. Hell no. Literally just got into my truck and heard that. You responded, come on, I think it'd be good. I don't think this is up for debate. I think we're having a Drew Wagner song made up for Drew Wagner. I think that has to happen.
We have to. Again,
right?
It's a must.
Then we get a hold of his, what's that group that he likes that he goes to see all the time?
The Turnpike Troubadours.
The Troubadours, right. Then we get somebody up from the Troubadours and play that song for them and see what they think of the Drew Wagner song altogether.
I think
right?
that'd be good.
Maybe they create a song
that's what
for
I was gonna
Drew.
Say. Yeah,
right?
Then he'd like that.
Maybe they create a Drew Wagner song. Like, they hear it like, oh, that's horrible. Like, we'll make you one better. And then Drew Wagner gets a song made by his favorite band. It's all
Win-win.
part of it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Win-win.
Yeah. See? We're just looking out for you, Drew. We're not trying to make fun of you. That Mason Crosby song was good, though. I don't know what y'all think, but I thought it was pretty funny for sure. No question about that. All right, so the Vandaliers. That's the other one. The Vandaliers is the other one. That was the one that we were looking at. Tommy Wirtz chiming in right now on the text group chat with Drew Wagner. Oh, it's so good. Definitely have to do a Drew Wagner one. I'm sorry, Drew. I know you're going to hate me, but I think we have to make one at this point. All right, let's look at the training camp. What was happening earlier today. So Elton Jenkins, not in pads today. So there's that. Jacob Monk taking first-team reps at the center position. You are a Jacob Monk guy. You were a Jacob Monk guy last year when they took him in the draft. Tell me what you like and tell the listeners what you like about Jacob Monk.
I think Jacob Monk, one of my favorite things about him is that he's a very smart player. That's something that they were talking about when he was drafted, that he could come in and play really any of those interior offensive line positions and that he could be a really great support player for whoever was surrounding him. I think that a guy like Jacob Monk last season didn't really get an opportunity to go out on the field and prove that often. When they did lose their starting center for one game in Josh Myers, they moved Elton Jenkins to starting center, and Elton Jenkins struggled in that game a little bit. I think I would have given Jacob Monk a chance in that game. I just think he's a young player that's a very smart, a very conscious player when he's out there, which is something that you want at the center position like I've talked about. That's the second leader on the offense behind the quarterback. He's the guy telling everybody to do what to do up front. And I also think he's a really good athlete. I know he's a little bit of a smaller player. They're trying to put him at different positions to find out where he can be, and that like the fact that he's not as strong as some of these interior defensive linemen gets to him, but I think he can work on that. I think that's something you can get better at and find later on in your career.
Some of the guys that did not practice today: Rasheed Walker, Emmanuel Wilson, Dontavian Wicks, Nate Hobbs, Marshawn Lloyd was out there doing a little work, but not playing the team practice part. Christian Watson still not practicing. Colin Oliver, their draft pick. So those are some of the guys not practicing today. Then new injuries: Xavier McKinney with a calf, Elton Jenkins with a back injury, Jaden Reed with a foot injury. They seem beat up, right? And if you're a fan, you're like, oh my goodness, what is going on? But I beg you not to overreact. I beg you to understand, in training camp, guys get rested for the littlest things so they don't have to have the wear and tear on them in training camp practices, Charlie.
That is true, but with Xavier McKinney specifically, I think I'm a little bit more worried about him. A guy like Matt Schneidman out here says Xavier McKinney makes it sound like he won't practice for a while because of the calf injury that sidelined him today. He doesn't expect to play in the preseason. Said the injury has been lingering, but emphasized he'll be ready for week 1. That's something that I look at and I'm a little concerned about, just because he's not going to get any of that preseason reps. Like I said, I get a little worried that you don't give these starters any time in the preseason, because I think that increases the chance of injury when you go 100 miles per hour in a regular season game as well. At the same time, to your point, he's a veteran player who's shown what he can do in this league. If it's something that they don't want to aggravate at all, it's probably the better decision to rest him.
The follow-up is, if it was a regular season game next weekend, could you play? When he says yes.
Yeah.
Okay. You don't want to play an exhibition game. It's fine. All right, that's how I kind of look at it at this point. I will tell you something that's becoming a pattern here the last couple of days. You know, the Packers signed Aaron Banks, left guard, humongous dude, 6'6", right? Left guard, replaces Elton Jenkins. Jenkins goes to center. That's great. Here in the last couple of days, he's been having some false starts. Do you know what happens when he has a false start? LaFleur goes, bye me, and in goes Donovan Jennings, who LaFleur said, I didn't know he was in with the ones. Remember that earlier when Andy Herman asked him about it? Well, guess who's the first one out there replacing Banks every time he jumps? Donovan Jennings is the first guy out there. I mean, you can't not have that guy start, right? I mean, he's one of the higher paid guards in the league right now. You gave him all that money. Like, that cannot be a thing of him screwing this up and not being that starting guard all year long. I think he's definitely starting week 1. I'm not saying that. But, I mean, if you make enough mistakes, LaFleur is going to run out of patience, and there's going to be a change regardless of how much money he's making, Charlie.
Well, and you don't want to be in the same position that the Chicago Bears put themselves in when they signed Nate Davis from the Tennessee Titans 2 years ago. That was a lot of what we're seeing right now with an Aaron Banks, where it was in training camp, he wasn't performing up to the standard of his contract. And then he started having some kind of off-the-field issues that was creating a rift between him and the team. I think doing things like this, putting in a guy like Donovan Jennings for you every single time you have a false start, every single time you're messing up, yes, it's to hold these guys accountable, but these guys also aren't 15-year-olds on your JV team. These are professional NFL players that I think understand that he's messing up and understand that he's making a mistake and understand that he's probably focusing on the wrong things in those moments, and it's messing up his cadence and how he should start. And then you go and put in a guy like Donovan Jennings, who really has no chance of ever starting for this team, if we're being honest. They're going to find other pieces to put in before him. It's a little disrespectful to Donovan Jennings, too, just using him as a piece to get Aaron Banks ready to go and then taking him out right away, too. If you're going to make changes like this, don't treat them like 5-year-olds. These are professional NFL players that you need to have discussions with, and real discussions with, if you're going to do stuff like this.
Interesting perspective from Charlie Houston. I wouldn't have thought that. I wouldn't have looked at it as disrespectful, but as Charlie lays it out as a former football player, college football player, it makes sense how it could be viewed that way. This offense is beginning their butt kicked by this defense for most of training camp. Well, in red zone at least, the Packers offense did their thing today. Andy Herman, hear him weekday mornings, Pack-A-Day radio show, 8 to 9 here on The Fan. Watch it on YouTube every morning. If you miss anything, go back, listen to it. He just had Aaron Nagler on. I think it was yesterday from Cheesehead TV. Great interview with Andy Herman and Aaron Nagler. Again, YouTube, The Fan Milwaukee. Stream us, listen to us on the Odyssey app. Any podcast, any of the shows you may have missed, iHeart app, Odyssey app, TuneIn, Spotify, wherever you've listened to your favorite podcast, you can listen to The Fan as well. Andy Herman says, Jordan Love tearing up the defense in red zone. Love to Savion Williams, that's their third-round pick, for a touchdown with tight end coverage from Cooper. Comes back the next play and guns one to Matthew Golden, who makes an unreal diving catch for the touchdown. Jordan Love now speed option keeper for a rushing touchdown. Offense now just toying with them. That is positive stuff. I think if you're a Packer fan, seeing this offense finally starting to get some footing, especially in the red zone. Speed option keeper for Jordan Love. They never even imagined doing such a thing last year because he was banged up, Charlie.
Yeah, that's pretty cool to hear and see Jordan Love be able to be that mobile. And the other thing that I saw from Andy Herman is they were toying with different offensive line formations, having heavy sets on the right side or left side in order to run a lot of these RPO-type plays. The only thing that I'm guess, questioning a little bit is how real is all of this? How much of this is window dressing, trying to do different things and seeing how good you can be at it, when in reality you're probably not going to run it in the regular season unless you are really good at it in training camp in the preseason. This all kind of seems like stuff that you're trying out now at this point in the year in order to get ready for that regular season. And again, if it works, it works. If it's not working up to like a perfect standard, then you trash it.
It's funny, Andy Herman was the one that when we talked to him about, best athlete as far as these wide receivers goes, most skilled guys, he put Savion Williams right there at the top with Christian Watson. I lost my mind when he did it. But Savion Williams had another good day today as well. Andy Herman tweets, these rookie wideouts can play. You could tell Goody was surprised as anyone after day 2 that they took 2 wideouts, but they just couldn't pass on the value of either one. Early returns say that was a very good decision. Hashtag trust the board. So often you hear GMs talk about, taking the best available. Savion Williams, I don't think was a guy they went in thinking they were taking. But when he fell to him, they had to make a decision. His drop rate is scary in college, right? So if that gets fixed, just 2% better than what it was before, Savion Williams might be better at the end of the day than maybe even Matthew Golden, who was taken in the first round. He's bigger than Matthew Golden. He can run. He can obviously jump higher and all that other stuff than Matthew Golden. It could be the steal of this year's draft if he can control the drops, Charlie.
If he can control the drops.
That's the question.
I want to watch him in a preseason game at least to see how it looks against another team, against a team that he hasn't been practicing against for the past 5 weeks, a team that's going to be a little bit more aggressive with him, that's probably going to put a little bit of a press coverage on a player like him just because he's bigger and his get off is going to be a little bit slower than some other players. You have to see how these teams adjust to him and then judge him. I think this is something that I'm excited for what I'm seeing with him and Matthew Golden. My expectations are still probably a little bit higher for Matthew Golden, though, because he's that first-round pick, because he's shown a lot of those athletic abilities that really nobody can cover him. Savion Williams is still somebody I'm a little bit more skeptical of.
The other thing about this, too, we were talking about Jordan Morgan earlier today. He's getting beat again today in training camp practice. Rashawn Gary had him for lunch earlier today for a sack. Kenny Clark had a coverage sack as well for this defense. So those are both things to watch going forward. Again, just want Jordan Morgan to play better. Nixon and Hobbs both practicing. So guess who was running with the ones at corner, Charlie Uzet? Who was running with the ones, Charlie?
I saw who was running with ones. Bo Melton was running with the ones.
Melton. See? Telling you, man, he's going to play at corner. Y'all, I'm telling you, he's going to get snaps.
It also seemed like the first lineups that Andy Herman had put out, that they were putting out onto the field, where he had Bo Melton both at starting wide receiver and at starting cornerback. The way that they had those lineups set up seemed like it was going to be a front seven period where you do a lot more run plays, you do a lot more like short pass plays, and you kind of designate it for that. And those cornerbacks are more there.
He corrected that Bo Melton thing. He was not starting at wide receiver. It was Hardman, Mecole Hardman.
Well, that still
he did that later today.
That still, again, is not your top wide receivers. Those are guys that I think you're probably expecting to be on the field in more play action situations, more run first block heavy situations, which is why I wasn't surprised when Bo Melton was out there, because he is such a good blocker. He is such an aggressive blocker. That's one of the things they hype him up for so much. So, again, I think that we're seeing him out there. We're seeing him in these moments. Just don't get your hopes up yet. I think it's cool that he's out there. I'm starting to believe each week. Every time I hear that he keeps getting those reps and keeps going in there, I'm believing more and more. At the same time, if he doesn't end up playing a lot of cornerback this season or cornerback at all, I'm not going to be surprised either.
Here's Charlie Uzet, see Sparky Fifer with you out here at the Wisconsin State Fair, doing our thing as we talk about Packers training camp from earlier today. Abbreviated shorter practice. Packers will not practice tomorrow, so no practice tomorrow. Packers will play their first preseason game coming up Saturday night. Packers and the Jets. It sounds like Jordan Love is playing on Friday night, or on Saturday night, I should say. So we'll see what that looks like coming up on Saturday night And then, of course, we'll talk about it coming up on Monday right here starting at 2 o'clock. And on Monday, because that game's on NFL Network as well Saturday night, Mike Wall will join us coming up on Monday, the former Packers offensive lineman. He'll join us here on Wisconsin Sports Daily to break down that Packers' first exhibition game of the season against the New York Jets. Looking forward to that. We'll take a quick time out, come back on the other side, and we'll continue talking about the Milwaukee Brewers. And an interesting tweet last night concerning Christian Yelich and a benching possibly in the postseason for Christian Yelich. I know. I was surprised too when I read it, but I'll read it to you. You can make your own decision whether or not that's the way the Brewers should go. That's coming up next. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's as we broadcast live from the 1250 AM and 1057 FM The Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook here at the Wisconsin State Fair. Time for your fan weather forecast, brought to you by Utke Heating and Cooling. 86 degrees with a real feel of 92 right now at the Wisconsin State Fair. That stupid air quality alert still in effect until 11 o'clock tonight, a low of 70. Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's out here, live from the Wisconsin State Fair. Steve Sparky, Fifer with you. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget, you can watch us on YouTube. We stream all of our shows, whether it be the Pack-A-Day radio show with Andy Herman, weekday mornings 8 to 9. Mason Crosby, the Packers leading scorer, he has a radio show every morning from 9 to 11. And, of course, this show, Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's from 2 to 5. Have the leadoff show, powered by the Potawatomi Sports book with Tommy Wirtz hosting that one 1 hour before every Brewers game. And then, of course, on Saturday mornings, 9 to 11, Charlie Hughes and Jack Pembroke with Wisconsin Sports Weekend. All of those shows you can stream on your Odyssey app. You can watch on YouTube. Just search The Fan Milwaukee if you're looking to find us on YouTube. We have shorts, we've got videos, all that fun stuff. Go back and check that out when you can. All right, I got this last night off of Twitter. And as I've said before, everybody uses Twitter for different stuff. And I've always said that if you're a talk show host and you don't use Twitter as a resource, you kind of have lost your mind, because there's so much stuff available all the time that you can pick from for different show topics that you can use for your show. So this was from Baseball's Not Dead on Twitter. It's @dead_baseball. Do you follow that account?
I do follow that account. They got a pretty good podcast, too.
Oh, they do? They have a podcast. Okay. So it's like a baseball's in that, like a Mets hat on it or whatever the case may be. He says, or she, whoever runs this account, the Brewers' starting lineup against lefties in the playoffs is going to be ridiculous. Now, these are the OPS numbers against lefties. You have Blake Perkins in center field with a 1.21 OPS against lefties. Vaughn at first, batting second with a 1.164 ERA. This is just in order of who's the best is against lefties. Churio, 981. Durbin at third, 833. Hoskins at DH, 772. Frelick, 728. Contreras, 721. Ortiz, 706. And Terang, 665. There is no Christian Yelich in that conversation of the best 9 to put out there in a lineup against a lefty in the postseason. To which this account, Baseball's Not Dead, says, is it possible the Brewers bench Yelich versus lefties? I ask you. I mean, I'll be honest. I read it. I'm like, I can't even imagine a situation where you would bench Yelich. But if you're basing it just on numbers, you could justify it based on numbers alone. Let me ask you, would you do it? Nicolay Law Fan Talking text line 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. Facebook and Twitter at The Fan Milwaukee. And again, check us out on YouTube. Search The Fan Milwaukee on YouTube as we live stream all of our shows. Charlie, would you bench Yelich in that situation, facing a lefty in the postseason, knowing his numbers don't match up with other guys on this team?
That's really tough. I would say if this Milwaukee Brewers team was the same roster as 2011, yeah, you bench Yelich against lefties. Sure, because you have a Ryan Braun, you have a Prince Fielder, you have a Casey McGee, you have all these different players to hit home runs too. This roster has Andrew Vaughn, and outside of him on the current group, not really anybody else. Even when you get healthy for the postseason, when you get a Jackson Churio back, that helps a little bit. When you get a Rhys Hoskins back, that helps a little bit. At the same time, Christian Yelich is just that dude. He is Mr. Milwaukee Brewer right now. He's one of the longest tenured players on the team, if not the longest tenured player on the team. He has been a former MVP for this team. When he's healthy, he plays at an MVP type of level. Yep. I mean, yes, he may be struggling against lefties, but also you can't bench Mr. Brewer.
I don't want to call him Mr. Brewer. No, I mean, there are plenty of guys we can call
on the
Mr.
current
Brewer.
roster. On the current roster, he's
this
Mr.
dude,
Brewer.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, no, I still can't get myself to say it, regardless of who's on this roster. I'm not calling Yelich Mr. Brewer. But having said that, I think it would be a shock to the system for everybody involved if Yelich isn't the guy out there, because I think Yelich is the leader of that team, or one of the top guys on this team that is the leader, right? And if you take the straw that stirs the drink out of the drink, is it going to perform the same way in a big moment, big game situation? It would be a great weapon to have off the bench against a righty to be able to bring Christian Yelich in off the bench in that situation, no doubt. But I just cannot see, regardless of what his numbers say they are against lefties, I cannot see any way that he sits a postseason game and is not in a starting lineup. Maybe he doesn't have the same numbers against lefties as everybody else, And that's a fair point. He doesn't. But I still can't see benching him at this point. And maybe that's stupid. Maybe if you're basing it just on numbers, he doesn't play. But I can't bench him.
You can't just base it off numbers in a situation like this. When we've talked about how much the culture of this Milwaukee Brewers organization matters to what is coming out on the field right now for this team, that is one of the things that drives this culture. Is a guy like Christian Yelich, like you said, stirring the pot for this team. A guy like Brandon Woodruff being in the clubhouse last season was a huge deal for that team, even though he was never going to pitch for them last year. He was there and he was around, and that was part of the culture that they've built. So to take him out of this lineup, yeah, he's still going to be on the bench. He's still going to be here in the clubhouse, but people are going to look at that and think that's weird. It's the same thing if you were to go into one of these playoff series and say, you know what, Brandon Woodruff isn't one of our top 3 starters. We can't really put him in there. I think people would be a little confused or maybe even a little frustrated about that.
Go back to what Tim Dillard said earlier. He was out here at the Wisconsin State Fair. What did he say? He said Priester's one of the top 3 in the postseason. He's the guy that's playing, not Mizorowski. Priester is one of his 3 starters in the playoffs, and Mizorowski backs up Peralta or backs up Woodruff, and they piggyback him like they do with Ashby and Hall. They use Mizorowski to be the second guy behind these guys coming in a playoff situation. Tim Dillard said it, and I was like, what? But if you think about Priester and the success that he's had, it makes sense because he goes deeper more often than anybody else on this baseball team, Charlie, without question about that. All right, standing by, we got a special guest here at the Wisconsin State Fair. I'm not going to tell you who it is. Stay tuned. That's coming up next. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the 1250 AM at 105.7 FM, the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, out here at the Wisconsin State Fair, across from the Milk House. Come over, say hi. We'll be back out here again tomorrow. Thunder at the Fair, 11 to 2, with Mitch Nellis. 2 to 5, this very same show. Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Live from the Wisconsin State Fair out here by the Expo building right outside the entrance across from the Milk House. I told y'all we're going to have a special guest coming up here. This handsome fella that we have here, Ken Yeager. Now, that may sound familiar because our promotions guy is Van Yeager. He's the singer at the radio station. You saw him at Summerfest a couple of times. Had a big photo shoot with our guy at the radio station, John McDonough. It was a whole big thing. And now his dad is out here as well, and one of the honchos out here at the Wisconsin State Fair, Director of Facilities at the Wisconsin State Fair. Ken, thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate it.
Oh, thanks for having me.
I've noticed right off the bat numerous new things that I found, and maybe they're not as new. Maybe I wasn't paying attention last year. So we'll just bear with me and act like they're new.
Sure.
Okay. So first things first, this I know is new because it's been all over the news, and that is that dairy building has a complete refresh and has a super modern feel on the inside now.
Oh, it definitely does. The bakery actually moved over from the other side, new restroom on there. I believe the renovation was around $12 million to do, so, but it needed it. I mean, it was a building from the early 1900s, so it was time. Yeah,
no doubt about that. And then obviously you've added the flavors of the cream puffs and all of that. So that was one thing. The other thing that I've noticed is some of these bathrooms, newer bathrooms, redone bathrooms, that also I think has been well appreciated by all the fans coming out here at the fair.
You'd be surprised at how much people love bathrooms, especially ones that are more accessible and things like that. So, yeah, we do have new bathrooms on Grandstand. They kind of mirror our other ones that we had redone in the mall. So,
don't you pay attention to bathrooms? I mean, I'm telling you right now, I'm not going to say it on the air, but there is one bathroom at one bar restaurant in Lake Geneva that I swear to God has no heating or AC in that bathroom. And in the wintertime, it's as cold in that men's bathroom as it is outside in Lake Geneva. And I remember that.
Oh, sure.
Right?
Sure.
I mean, so that does stick in your brain as far as where you go.
Yeah, people, I mean, if you have a dirty bathroom, you don't want to be in there.
Correct.
So, and especially ones that are hot and sticky and you're up against people's shoulders and things like that. So,
yes.
Yeah, we love bathrooms here.
Talking with Ken Yeager. Bet you didn't think you were going to say that today. Ken Yeager, Director of Facilities here at the Wisconsin State Fair. Here on the Fan Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. I was talking to my mom the other night, and she hadn't been here a couple of years. And she's like, so how is it out there and stuff? And because she hasn't been here, I was like, hey, something that I know she would appreciate and others appreciate is you guys have went out of your way to create more shaded areas to get away from the beating sun. Because forever, I've done radio shows out here for 20 years, if you're in the sun, you're dead. Like, there's nowhere to go outside of in the Expo building, in the Dairy building, Product Pavilion, and that was it. Now in the Center Mall area, even under the grandstands, there's an area now. That, I think, has been amazing.
Yeah, actually, you're correct in saying that what we call our North Point area is right before you go down to Spin City. We built a nice shade structure with a ton of picnic tables under there.
Awesome.
And we put some more trees in. We had to make the footing better and all the infrastructure and stuff like that. But, yeah, you're right. In the mall, we have shade structures, but and those trees are starting to grow. They were planted in 2001, so they're going to get big and get more shade too. So.
What's the number one thing that you hear, compliment that you hear from people come out here that you're like, I love this, thank you so much?
For me or for general?
Both.
They do compliment on how clean it is.
As they should.
And we strive to get it clean. We work with a company called Venue Smart, which we love. They do a good job, but we want it clean. But in general, just the food, the beverages, the family fun, the barns, things like that. I mean, we try to cater to everybody that possibly comes here. So
another thing that I noticed, and again, you may have done this last year, and I didn't notice, could very well be, but that gigantic like Ferris wheel or whatever you call it, that used to be in Spin City. That no longer is, and now it's been moved out more to the general population.
Yeah, it's moved around a couple. It started kind of in the middle of the fair park, and it was there for like 4 or 5 years, and then it moved last year, and it moved again. Just seeing how things work and trying to make things flow better, I think, and just make sure that people get to see what's maybe new that if they haven't been here for so long.
No doubt. Yeah, that's all part of it. Talking with Ken Yeager, Director of Facilities here at the Wisconsin State Fair. Again, this goes through Sunday, so if you've not been out here yet, you still got time to get out here. Beautiful weather. There was a threat of rain, but I don't see any type of rain in the sky right now, so looking good. Come on out, hang out tonight. Spin City, let's talk about that. How long have you been here?
This is my 32nd summer.
Perfect. So you've been here pretty much the whole time. So the creation of Spin City, where it was, where it is now, where maybe you see it going in the future.
I think there's always some tinkering I think they're going to do out there, but it's an independent midway, so it's people who own their own rides and games and things like that. So they strive to have the best looking, best running, most fun, best games, things like that. So there's always, I'm sure, we're always looking to tweak it and make it flow better or something like that. But it's in good shape right now. It's really fun down there. So I think if you want to go have fun, have some rides, play some games, please go.
That's the other thing I've always wondered. So we were talking off the break. Wisconsin, top 3 state fair in the country, whatever. When we talk about getting these food vendors out here or people to come out here and set up their rides or their games or whatever, how much of a competition is it to get different people when you're booking your date, which is a significantly long date for the Wisconsin State Fair?
The good thing about it is fairs, even out of state, know schedules. So vendors, they kind of cater to vendors so they can make sure that a vendor that might be here will go to the Minnesota State Fair because it's after ours. Iowa, we butt up against one weekend, but there's plenty of vendors out there. But all the vendors love to set up and have big, elaborate setups and things like that, so they're seen. And they're wonderful too. They bring an aura to the fair, really, with all their flags and big signs and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. What about some of the new stages and music venues around State Fair Park?
I wish I could give you the exact number. I know there's getting close to 30 or 32 stages or something like that. So there's music for everyone. Obviously, we have the Bank 5-9 main stage and amphitheater.
Is Van performing on that this week?
No, I think he got him busy. I think he's busy with you guys.
I don't think he's busy with us. He's busier. He's more busy with you all than he is with us. I know that for a fact. Yeah, that's the dream, though, right? To get Van out there to be that main act at some point before you retire and walk away from this thing?
Yeah. Possibly that would be kind of one of those moments that you would want as a father. So.
Hell yeah, right? That'd be awesome, no doubt. We were all watching them checking them out at Summerfest. When you talk about these music venues, who's booking those? Is it the bar or the restaurant with the stage? Do they book it? Do you guys book it and then distribute them to the different stages? How does that work?
I know our entertainment director books like the main stage
right.
and the amphitheater and things like that, but I believe it's the owner.
So these local bands can be coming from anywhere. Northern Wisconsin here, Northern Illinois, from wherever.
So,
yeah, that's good stuff. Did we not cover something that you wanted to cover? We didn't talk about the expo building, the product pavilion. We didn't talk about that either.
No, I mean, you want to go find some stuff to buy and take home and spend a lot of money in there? The expo hall's where to go.
Aqua massage all day, every day, man. Aqua massage. Family's coming out here tomorrow. The 9-year-old wants to go back into the aqua massage.
Yeah, the favorite thing that I love is when I get a little bit of time, I can go sit in one of those massage chairs and just.
Oh yeah, those are there.
Those are nice.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And that product pavilion is amazing too, right? You got the baked potatoes, the grilled cheese, the apple turnovers, the ice cream.
All Wisconsin.
All Wisconsin.
All Wisconsin.
Yeah. This state fair is awesome. I love the state fair. It's my favorite thing to do during the year outside of our toy drive we do for Children's Wisconsin. That's one. But this is definitely right there with it. Ken, thanks so much for coming out, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Absolutely. There he is, Ken Yeager, Director of Facilities here at the Wisconsin State Fair. You took the headset off. You're good.
Yeah, sweet.
Let's get to things that we missed on today's show, Charlie, because I there are a couple of things that I definitely want to get to before we're all said and done here, before I forget at the end of the day. So one of the things I want to get to, again, something else that I found on Twitter, Charlie, that I think I want to get your thoughts on. And it's concerning Archie Manning and his deal over there at Texas. I don't know if you saw this. I got this from Bart Winkler, of all people. Hear him weeknights 9-1, right, here on The Fan. Bart's got an opinion on everything. Fox College football. Archie Manning says his grandson Arch is staying with the Longhorns past this season, and that comes from Texas Monthly. Quote, Arch isn't going to do that. He'll be at Texas. Bart Winkler, our guy, quote tweeted it. This is so clearly the Manning family getting out of the PR nightmare, and they don't like the teams at the top of the draft board next year. Remember, they forced the hand of the Chargers on Eli Manning. Why does everyone always immediately take everything at face value, says Bart Winkler. Most gullible-ass country, says Bart Winkler to that comment by Archie Manning about his grandson, Arch Manning. I'll be honest. I saw the post. I didn't react to the post. Then Bart quote tweeted the post, and then I had a reaction to the post. I think Bart's right. Now, again, he's got to be good, and we don't know. But if he's right, and they don't like who's at the top 2, top 3, and they go, no, we're good. We'll stay another year at Texas. And now with all the NIL money, Charlie, dude's going to get paid more in NIL money than he would in the NFL anyhow.
He probably already has made a good chunk of his NFL career just in the college endorsements that he's got. He's one of the most endorsed college athletes of all time up to this point since they've started the NIL system here in college football and college sports. I think I'm with you guys on this. This is really what Baker Mayfield called earlier, covering your butt by the Mannings. This is them saying, you know what, if Arch does decide to go into the draft, if he does have a fantastic season this year, then you know what, we said at least at one point that he may stay at Texas, that his plan is to stay at Texas. But you know, things change. But then if he's not great this year, if he gets benched for some reason, if he pulls a Quinn Ewers and as a top-rated prospect comes in there and just kind of disappoints and starts getting outplayed by players behind him, that is going to be an issue for him and his draft stock. So now the Mannings can just go, look, we said he was going to stay at Texas. We said he wasn't ready yet. He just needs to develop a little bit more. That's all it takes. This is them just doing the best PR. And when you've had 3 guys that ended up being NFL quarterbacks and a 4th guy that should have ended up being a NFL quarterback in your family, you would think they know how to manage this type of media response.
The other thing that came up on things that we missed, another one, this is from On3. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell hinted at the potential launch of a college football red zone on ESPN. I'm telling you right now, don't get excited. Don't get excited.
Why not?
You're not Alabama. You're not LSU. You're not Notre Dame. You're not Texas. You're not Florida. If they do a red zone, it's going to be about the big schools at that moment in time. If you're a fan of Memphis, probably not going to see your team on red zone when they're playing. There's way too many college football games on a given Saturday to have everybody on and covering everybody at the same time. Maybe I'm wrong, Charlie. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they'll cover every college football game at 11 a.m. on a Saturday. I highly doubt it. They're going to pick the most popular teams with the biggest fan bases. Those will be the teams that will be on Red Zone. The rest will be ignored, is my guess, if they get this thing off the ground.
Unless ESPN and maybe the NFL go into this situation now that they've partnered up and say, you know what, the NCAA looks like they're struggling right now. Maybe we could get into bed with the NCAA a little bit here as well. And the NCAA can say, you know what, maybe we can help you guys design some kind of packages where it's each conference has their own type of red zone,
right,
where there's a Big Ten red zone and an SEC red zone, a MAC red zone if you really wanted to watch a MAC red zone, which I know there's some sickos out there that would love to watch a MAC red zone.
People love MAC action, baby.
Action, baby.
Action, yeah.
But I think that's where it would lean towards. Yeah, I think the first couple of years you would get, like you're saying, you wouldn't be able to see your favorite teams all the time. It would be the top games. But I think if it worked, and I think it will work, I think people will still pay for that, you'll get into this territory where it's specialized for each fan base.
I got another one here. Did you get, I don't know if you got it or not, I'm putting you on the spot, I apologize, the Sean Casey audio by any chance?
I did not get that. That's one of the ones
So
I missed.
we are hopefully going to have Sean Casey on this show next week. And he does the mayor's office podcast and so forth, and was with MLB Network. But they told me this week we should have him next week. He made a reference to the Brewers and called them a bunch of ants. That's what he called the Brewers. You can't get rid of them. They keep coming at you. Then all of a sudden you're destroyed. First team to 70 wins and the best record in baseball. Sean Casey talking on the Mayor's Office podcast. Do you like the comparison to being a bunch of ants?
I love it. I think it's cool. I think, again, it also helps that a lot of the players on this team are undersized compared to other professional athletes. It's a shorter team overall, but also ants are kind of sneaky, man. They sneak in on you. You never really expect them, and then all of a sudden there's hundreds of them there, and they're one of the strongest animals on the planet. You just can't see it all the time. I think a lot of people underestimate how good this Brewers team can be, and that when they go out there and show it on a national stage every single night, I mean, it's sneaky to some people. To Pat Murphy, it's sneaky, he says.
Yeah, you're right about that. The ants thing, I didn't see that one coming. I didn't see it coming.
What animal would you compare them to?
I don't know. It's got to be a fast animal, right? Jaguar, something like that. Something that's super fast, has some powerful legs, something like that, right?
Ostrich. That's the fastest land animal on Earth.
But it's a bird.
Yeah, but they have strong legs, too. That's exactly what you just described. They're awesome.
Yeah, but what does an ostrich kill?
I
want something that's going to ravage teams. Right? That's what I want. I don't want that, man. I want a strong, aggressive animal. What'd you say?
You would be pretty scared of an ostrich if it was running at you, I think.
Man, I'm scared of a dog running at me, nonetheless, a damn ostrich, so it doesn't take much to scare me with an animal. I understand that. Hey, one other thing here before we wrap up. We got a couple minutes left. The Packers, I should say, did a thing at training camp yesterday. What color folder is math? What color folder is math in school? And it's funny, we just went school supply shopping for my 9-year-old, and it's like, oh, you have to have a red notebook, a blue notebook, a green notebook. I was like, what is this? What do you mean? The kid's like, oh, no, each one is for like a different subject, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, one thing when I was coming up. I don't know what this is all about. So which one is it for you?
It's red. Red is math.
It's red.
Red is math. Always.
Some said blue. Some said yellow.
Wrong.
Somebody said manila. What? But a man that has no name on Twitter, I saved it, said, this must be some millennial thing. What folders? We had books with covers made from brown paper bags. That's me. That's what I had.
We
books
had that
with
too.
Brown paper bags. That was my covers on my books growing up. That's what I used.
I had that too.
And you
so
wrote
it's
math
not just old
on
people.
it.
It's not just
right?
old people. I had those too.
You had the same thing?
I had the same thing.
All right. Is the closing music playing, or am I hearing things?
Yes.
It is. That'll do it for Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Talk to you tomorrow from the fair. Toodles!